welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Shirley Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that just ate a delicious fish meal. It's Norbert Morvan.
Don't worry, Mark. I speak jive.
What did she say when she walked away from him after their argument? What was...
He's like, jive-ass fool don't want no help, ain't gonna get no help. Jive turkey ain't gonna do nothing anyhow. Yo.
I watched this movie when I was so young because of the PG rating. There was just this is before PG-13 came into existence. And I remember this PG movie was a big fan. I was a big fan of this PG movie growing up because, they don't make PG movies like they used to. I'm sounding like an old guy, but oh man. And gosh. And I gotta tell you, Norbert, in preparation for this, I listened to the commentary. I read a bunch of articles about this. I watched all the DVD extras. There's a thing on the Blu-ray where they play the movie, but then they stop it, and then they have the cast members talking about certain scenes and showing deleted scenes. And there's just so much to cover about this movie because this could have easily just become you and I just quoting the film. Like this, basically reading the script back and forth because it's so rich with jokes. I mean, Sperm Monthly, isn't that what
it's
modern
infinitely,
sperm?
It's infinitely quotable. It's the definition of throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
They throw shit at a fan, Norbert.
They literally do let the shit hit the fan. That is absolutely correct.
Before we get too into this movie, though, we gotta give some respect to Julie Hagerty because every article I read, it's Leslie Nielsen, it's Lloyd Bridges, it's Robert Hays, it's Robert Stack. But Julie Hagerty in this movie, she is the glue that holds it all together. I mean, she has to deal with Otto, the pilot. Just her reactions. Deal with him. Yeah, her reactions to the guys who are speaking jive when she gets their orders. Just the dancing scenes. She is the unheralded MVP of this movie. Just like Holly Hunter is the MVP of Raising Arizona. And she's not 100%. Talked about that much. Like, we covered that too. So we just got to give some love to Julie Hagerty before we get into this.
Oh, listen, the physical comedy that Julie Hagerty pulls off, the straight man roles when she's delivering these lines, oh, well, it's a small room that's on the side of a house. It's not important right now. She's great. She delivers her lines perfectly. She does that excellent dancing when the guy got stabbed in the disco club. And he's pointing at the knife in her back. And she says, yeah, okay, it's a new dance. I'm down with it. She's so unaware. And she absolutely, as you say, deals with the autopilot. And then they smoke cigarettes afterwards. And she shoots him this look like, was it good for you? But she doesn't actually say anything.
Yeah, that look. I told Megan, I'm like, well, did you see that look? It's so good. And I just think she's just unheralded, man. Her performance. And listen, everyone else, I mean, casting Leslie Nielsen, right? Casting Robert Stack, Peter Graves. Genius move. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, by the way, is Roger Murdoch. Roger.
No,
what?
not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, okay? I'm Roger Murdoch. I'm the co-pilot, all right?
That was originally supposed to be Pete Rose, by the way.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Pete Rose would have nailed it, too, though, because Pete Rose is a silly guy. He's a silly guy. I've heard him on sports interviews. He would have nailed it, too. But the fact that it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, it was so fit. Again, the physicality of this movie. So he's 7 feet tall in this 2-foot box in the cockpit. And I'm Roger. I'm the co-pilot. And he's just very, very believable. I believe I would let Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fly me around to this day.
Oh, man, he's so funny in this. And what's interesting, he wanted $30,000 for this movie because he wanted to buy a rug. And the directors, Jim Abrahams, Zucker, and Jerry Zucker, they were like, oh, sure, yeah, $30,000 rug. But then he did the movie, and then they saw a picture of him later with this $30,000 rug. So he did the movie to get a $30,000 rug that he could have.
Even at the time, basketball players were not making sports athletes in general were not making the salaries that they are today. Mm-hmm. But he was the star on the Lakers, multiple championship, Hall of Famer. They had to ban dunking in college because he was so good at it. All right. I mean, that's how good Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was. So he absolutely wasn't broke. So yeah, give me a little $30,000. I'll be in your movie for 2 minutes, whatever. I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor anymore, baby. found a lot.
I'll do 3 days in this film. Oh man.
Then I'll go back to murdering the league.
I love it. You try carrying people on defense, and then that kid, they hold the reaction shot on that kid for about 14 seconds, and that kid just looks shocked. But Dude. Oh man, It's so funny. And they made the movie in August. They couldn't get Pete Rose because he was playing baseball, so they didn't even think about that. That's where these guys, it's a remake of 0 Hour. There's this movie they saw, all this, but they got the rights to it, so they were totally allowed to remake the thing. And on set, they're like, what's our next shot? I don't know. What does it look like in 0 Hour? So they would just put 0 Hour on, put the thing on, and there's a scene, Norbert, and we covered Soy Married an Axe Murderer on the podcast probably a couple of years ago, and Mike Myers had a lot of arguments with the director because the director wanted to do Steadicam shots. He really wanted to make it cinematic. But Mike Myers stressed, he had a thing like Two-Eyed Jack, no laugh. I don't know. He has this thing where you have to see both eyes. And traditionally in comedy, when you tell a joke, you want to see both eyes of the character telling the joke. You don't want to see the side of their face. You just want to be looking right at them. So that's why a lot of
reaction, right?
Exactly, right? So many comedies are flat because it's about servicing the joke, not the like Steadicam shots or the dolly shots. But in this one, they got Peter Graves and Leslie Nielsen staring at each other and just telling jokes. No, one eye each. Like they said it themselves. They had no idea what they were doing. They were just mimicking shots from 0 Hour. And they're like unconventional joke telling. And I think that's why this movie's so funny, because it's not doing the traditional comedy thing, both eyes, static shots. Like they've shot this because they didn't really know what they were doing. Right?
This is what it is, man. And so another thing is a lot of the straight actors, and when I say straight, these are guys who Leslie Nielsen was a dramatic actor at the time. Robert Stack, this is before the classic Everlasting series Unsolved Mysteries. He's also a dramatic actor. One of his last roles was the voice of Ultra Magnus in Transformers the movie, for God's sake. Peter Graves is one of the leads in Mission Impossible, the TV series. So these guys are in the movie, and at the time, nothing like this had ever been. The closest thing to Airplane was Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
In terms of straight actors who usually do dramatic stuff, suddenly in this comedy, and there is no laugh track, because this is the height of laugh track stuff. Okay, if there's no laugh track, quote unquote, people don't know when to laugh. Mm-hmm. So putting these people in here, having them deliver these ridiculous lines to each other with no reaction, or kind of maybe a head tilt, like, huh? It was, people didn't understand this movie in 1980, and then they went on to make Naked Gun, the TV series.
Cigarette?
And it bombed. Yes, it is. They go
Those are red, violets are blue, and I'll break your face.
Yeah, I'll break your face. Oh God, I don't think I'll be able to make it through this. These are my favorite comedies.
You showed me that, Norbert, in 2008.
Yes, that's right.
You sat me down and you showed me Police Squad on. I think probably the first 2 months I was there, you showed me it.
Dude, just brilliant.
I'll break your face.
And so that show bombs, and people are literally saying, when am I supposed to laugh? I don't understand what's going on. There's no laugh track. And then when does their validation come? When the movie, The Naked Gun, comes out, and they're just copying and pasting exactly a bunch of jokes from the Police Squad series.
Yep.
And so this movie is it's a touchstone of comedy, man. Like, there was comedy before Airplane and after Airplane.
When I talk about the funniest things I've ever seen in my life in regard, like the scenes that I love most in cinema that have made me laugh the hardest, I always go back to Dr. Strangelove when he's talking to Dimitri. Hey, Dimitri, can you turn the music down, please? Thank you. Oh, why are you mad? I'm not mad. Well, why are you saying that? Well, that's not my... And then when they have an argument about shooting government property to get quarters to stop a nuclear missile from destroying the world. And just the beautiful, absurd George C. Scott giving everything he has in that role. And then I look at Royal Tenenbaums, the tennis scene where Richie Tenenbaum's mad that Gwyneth Paltrow married Bill Murray. And he has 72 unforced errors, and he's playing a guy called Gandhi in tennis. And 72 unforced error means every single time, every single ball, there was an unforced error. And he only had one sock on. And just the way that they narrated it, like he has 72 unforced errors and he just sat down and he only has one sock. Like they play it so straight, Norbert. So straight. Yes. The conversation between Owen and Luke Wilson in Royal Tenenbaums when they're going back and forth between those shirtless guys with the masks on the ATVs, and they're both going, huh? What? Huh? Oh, I thought you said something. No. What? I love it when humor is just so, it doesn't tell you, and it's just so dry. That's the hardest I've ever laughed, and that's the same with Airplane. Like the Shirley, yes, and don't call me Shirley. Just the bits in this movie. Yes. And this movie also, this was your suggestion, so sorry I keep talking, but this is the product of three guys who were relatively inexperienced in show business. This is not a movie that's made by veterans. This is, right. It's kind of unsafe. There's people hanging themselves, stabbing themselves. There's a guy who was about to light himself on fire. There's just nudity. There's pedophilia jokes. There's kids telling raunchy stories. There's there's just every weird things. But then there's also this really odd humor about the coffee. Like, he never has 2 cups of coffee at home. Like, it's such a weird hybrid. And I just love it. This is something that inexperienced people make. Not inexperienced, but just people who haven't been jaded yet or get a PG-13 rating yet.
Totally. That coffee thing was a combo of an old school commercial from back in the day and also, just romantic dramas at the time. He never does that when he's with me. I wonder why. Maybe he's cheating on me. That's the whole thing. Yeah. But then they take it to a ridiculous place, This is, man, you know what else, too? I think their first movie was the Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah.
Where it was basically Saturday Night Live, the movie.
But Big Jim, and didn't they have
Big Jim Slade!
The 4D theater?
Yeah.
That guy was so funny. He was getting his, shoulder rubs. They found the funniest extras in this movie, too, by the way. Oh, my God. And Kentucky Fried Movie. The extras that they find are pure gold.
They did. And they definitely pushed the envelope, and they definitely told the line with stuff. The brothers who speak jive, somebody today, oh no, what are we doing? Come on, man. Everybody's in on this one. And this and the lady who comes up, excuse me, I speak jive. Today, jive is known as AAVE, African American Vernacular English or something. It's a brilliant movie. They take a lot of big swings, and most of them land. It's good stuff.
Those guys even came back for in the commentary, Abrams, Zucker, or Zaz, I guess, they're talking about how they just wrote the first couple lines of the dialogue because they're like, we're 3 dudes, white dudes from Milwaukee. We didn't want to tell these people everything. So then they just gave it to the 2 actors and let them come up with their own stuff. Well, so I think that it just reads better, too. And then they apologize to him during the auditions. But
100%.
I just love, but all the different jokes. Remember when? Can I get something light? Yeah, here's a book about famous Jewish sports legends. I mean, it's just a
pamphlet. It was like a pamphlet, Oh my God.
It's just such a silly, and then just Lloyd Bridges doing glue and then hanging upside down at the end and diving outside of windows.
I don't think there's anyone in our generation that has a sense of humor that in a stressful situation does not just come up and say, looks like I picked the wrong week to quick sniff and glue.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen that so many times.
You don't understand how many times I've said that.
Yeah.
You don't understand how many times people, how would you like your coffee? I just say black like my men. And they're just, what? That little girl said that to the boy. Yeah. And his face. He couldn't believe what?
He sells that reaction. That kid's reaction is gold because he's still a child going, huh?
Yeah. Wait, what?
Hey, Norbert, how about some coffee?
Oh, yes. Sure. I'll have some coffee.
No, wait. Doesn't that guy say, no, I'm fine? Doesn't Johnny say?
Oh.
And Johnny?
Oh,
my God. Lloyd Bridges keeps
asking
him for coffee. And then Johnny's like, no, I'm good. So you know how they met him? So Zaz, they had a comedy troupe in the Kentucky Fried Theater in Milwaukee. And he showed up one day to be their piano player, but he was just dressed the nines, all decked out, and they loved him. So they're like, you got to be in our movie. Yeah. They're like, you got to be in our movie. And he has a big role in the film. He has a lot of featured stuff in here.
He does. Lloyd Bridges gives him the paper. What do you make of this? Well, I can make a house. I can make a flame. I can make a brooch. He's just going big. He's going big at all times. Do you know the thing? And the thing that kills me with the parody movies of today, the closest one was Scary Movie, the very first one.
Because that tried to do sight gags.
Right. Right. And the parody movies today, they're about, dick jokes by actually showing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And scatological stuff where it's actually, there's poop and there's actual pee, and oh look, he dug up his nose and he rubbed it on the turkey. Okay, I guess. There's a lot of in your face humor in airplane. There's a lot of in your face humor, but there's a lot of subtle humor. They have the little Jesus that's in the cockpit, the little statue of Jesus in the cockpit. And, first it's just a statue of Jesus. And then when it's raining, the statue of Jesus has an umbrella. And then when they're going to crash, the statue of Jesus is covered his face. And they just keep going back to it at just random times. You never know when it's going to come up. When it does, it's hilarious. It's brilliant.
And then the newspaper stuff, like the wacky material.
Yes. Nuance. This is what is missing from a lot of movies today. Nuance. And what you say, the visual gags, show, not tell. Don't explain everything to people. Let the joke sit. Let it land first, and then let it sit, man. Stop telling people exactly where they're supposed to laugh. This is, oh God.
And what makes me really happy, too, is I just love the behind-the-scenes stories, because they wanted to shoot it in black and white. And the head of the studio just goes, okay, come back and talk to me on Monday about it, and we'll see if you change your mind. The head of the studio just handled Zaz so well. I think it was, the producer was Howard Koch at the time, and he just handled these guys like, okay, yeah, sure. You should come back and talk to me Monday about it and see if he just played them, man. And it makes me so happy that they just, these guys knew how to handle them. They wanted to do a small plane for the whole movie, but then they made them do an airplane. But then the Zucker brothers snuck in like a prop plane sound for the airplane. Like, they were such brats on this movie doing little things. And one of the funniest stories, they were talking to Howard Koch. They built this huge airplane that shatters through this glass. And the stunt coordinator actually said that some of the first kind of like candy glass that they had ever used on set. Mm-hmm. He's like, but that falls on somebody, it hurts. So they showed the scene to the producer, and he's like, you idiots, why don't you build a miniature? And then they went, what's a miniature? And then at the end, that's why you have the miniatures, because he's like, that's what you should do. And they're like, we didn't know. We just thought it'd be funny. Like, they literally said, what is a miniature?
There it is. Not everybody goes to Juilliard or the New York City College of Arts and Sciences. We just want to make a movie. Shut up, jerk.
You want to hear something cool?
Talk to me.
Hunt Lowry was a associate producer on this film. He then worked his way up through Last of the Mohicans, some gigantic films, and he also recently was the executive producer on Deep Blue Sea 3, and that's why it's so good.
Look at you. 6 degrees of Deep Blue Sea.
That's right. And we just had the star and director, Tanya Raymond, and John Pogue on to talk about Deep Blue Sea 3 with us. We got John Pogue on twice. He's going to get us the whole crew. The director likes us.
Congratulations, man. Yeah. Of course they like you, man. You are in love with that movie, and I think that you've done better promotion for Deep Blue Sea than Warner Brothers ever did. Like a shark fin, deepest, bluest.
They said they like me because I ask weird questions. I don't do the stock questions. I end up talking about underwater chainsaws and shark fighting.
Exactly. So when you had the bird, did you decide to choose a minor bird? Or what kind of food did you feed the minor bird? Did the minor bird ever poop on anybody? So many questions. I'm Mark Carmine.
I asked a few. I'm like, I know there's a water shortage in South Africa, and that affected Deep Blue Sea 2. Did that affect you on Deep Blue Sea 3? And I was like, and how are the wineries in the surrounding area that were around Cape Town Studios? I was like, and I read that the diner there has a 3.8 out of 5 rating on Yelp. And they're like, what? Where did you hear this?
And what was your favorite shark?
Yeah.
And what were his likes and dislikes?
I was just confusing people on there. So it's
and then they just come up to you, Mark, do you want to make Deep Blue Sea 4?
Yeah. Okay. There it is. Norbert, get this. He's like, I can't say anything, but he went Shark Week 2022.
Yes.
I got an early scoop, unofficial scoop.
Yes.
But yeah, getting back to Airplane, it's a lot of stuff has been talked about, like Leslie Nielsen and his fart machine, and what is it? Peter Graves and his, oh my gosh, man, the Gladiator movie, and
man, look, Peter Graves, when he just reveals himself to be a pedo on the low, oh my God, why is that so funny to me? It's not supposed to be funny, but he just, no, Joey's great. He can hang out here. Joey, You like movies with gladiators in them? Just wait, what? What are you talking? You ever seen a grown man naked? Wait, really? Is this going? Is this going?
Oh, man, gladiator movies. Have you ever been to a Turkish prison?
Really? Okay, so we're just spelling it out now, aren't we? Yeah, man. Yeah. Captain Over is a crazy guy, okay? And Victor and Roger, all right? Those guys, all they want to do is fly the plane, and they want Jimmy Walker to clean the windshield and also check the oil.
Oh, when he falls off? Oh!
He lifts the hood up, you know?
Right.
And then they also pay for the service with the old credit card swipey machine.
Yeah. And
you know?
Victor's funny, man, when he looks at the camera.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Oh, that's beautiful. That's I love the guy they found to clean the windshield and do all that. His facial expressions
Jimmy
were
Walker.
gold. Oh, what?
Jimmy Walker.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy Walker.
That was
right.
Jimmy.
Yep.
Totally. And when the man offers the woman a shot of whiskey as they're just going through hell, and everybody realizes now that we might die, would you like some whiskey, man? Certainly not. And then she just pulls out some Coke and just
Drinking problem. As a kid, the bits that were funniest to me were when they show the fish and they're still like he ate around all the bones, or when the girl gets her IV unplugged from her and she does that weird face suck in thing. The physical gags are what really had me because you know at 10, 12 some of this stuff is going to go over your head. But then I loved when I watched it at 18 and I was like, you know, the Jello scene and other things are like, haha, yeah. And then you get to movies. And then when you're at now about the second cup of coffee, and I wonder what this movie just keeps aging really well. It's unlike like Ferris Bueller. When I was 12, I thought Ferris was cool. When I was 18, I'm like, this is the greatest guy ever. Now that I'm 38, I'm like, I don't like Ferris. It's
You absolutely want to punch Ferris Bueller in the face repeatedly as an adult. Like, this guy's a jerk.
And then, but Airplane gets funnier the older you get because you just, there's different levels on each that you appreciate.
All the stuff that you missed, you start to pick up as an adult, you know. Even as a kid, you know, they're in the bar, a bar fight breaks out, and it's just Girl Scouts.
Oh,
except they're the most incredibly skilled fighters in the bar. The bar that's full of rednecks and rogues and monsters. The girls who are fighting are the Girl Scouts. And they managed to stretch the fight out even through the whole dance sequence. The Magumba Bar, the rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf. It's unbelievable.
Oh, man. And then at Daiquiri. Man. I have to go to Daiquiri. And I love that bar scene, too. Just all the extras dancing. The guy gets stabbed in the back. He throws her in the air. Then she jumps into his arms. I mean, they throw the jacket at him. Like, he throws the jacket, and then Robert Hays gets it thrown back right in his face.
Yes.
And then I still do that. I have a drinking problem from, like, you know, Nam. And then the sweating gif, like it's a really, man, there's just, I know we're just saying bits about this, but it's just one of those movies that is just, people complain about it nowadays though. They're kind of like, oh, like,
really?
Yeah, I see articles, 5 moments that are funny and 5 moments that went too far. I'm like, this was 1980. Like there's context. And I'm not saying it makes it okay all the time because there's context, but this was 80. Like the 80s were crazy.
This movie is not racist. I'm going to say that. This movie is not racist. This movie is not anti-Semitic. It might be a little sexist for sure, but everything here is in service to the joke. There is nobody who looks better than someone else. There's no particular class or group that looks better than the other in this movie. Everybody looks stupid. Everybody is stupid. That's the whole point of this movie. Nothing is to be taken seriously in this movie at all. This movie is the definition of punching up.
Mm-hmm.
All the men are incompetent. And for any one of you who might feel super woke listening to this, all of the straight white men are incompetent in this movie. Relax, okay? Don't be crazy. Don't go after Airplane. There is no one here who it's just, oh, these people are stupid. That's why this joke is funny. No, man. Not at all. This is punching up the movie.
You're really, I love what you said about Strangelove than this, because there weren't too many, this was quite a different film at the time, I would say, because in the late 70s, right, early 80s, it was kind of dominated by the Landis type humor, where there's Animal House, there's Blues Brothers, there's Caddyshack, which are all extremely popular films, but subtle they ain't. or
No,
like
not.
Deadpan.
Not
They're
at all.
not. They were not dry at all. Or Vacation type stuff. I mean, that's dry. Chevy Chase had a really offbeat sense of humor in those first couple movies. But it was kind of a, I don't know about revelatory because Doctor Strangelove had already done that. And there were dry, like Being There. I don't know. Oh, actually, I think Being There came out after Airplane. But just with the Chauncey the Gardener and the absurdity of Peter Sellers.
Well, the thing is, this movie really sticks to its conceit that it is not only a parody of Zero Hour, but at the time, you know, there was Airport 79, Airport 77. There was this really creepy vibe with airplane movies. George.
Yeah.
Is it not George C. Scott? It was Frank Drebin's partner in The Naked Gun.
Oh,
George
gosh.
Kennedy?
Yeah, George Kennedy.
Yeah.
Cool Hand Luke.
Right. So he was the airline pilot on just horrific airline incidents. Somebody had a bomb they were going to smuggle on the plane, or somebody was going to hijack the plane, or the engine blew up, or oh snap, there's a hole in the side of the plane because reasons, you know. And these were straight thriller drama films, and they're freaky as hell. I remember as a kid, I was about to go on an airplane, just like in the movie Airplane, where they're watching an airplane crash. I watched one of those movies on Channel 11, WPIX NYC, before I got on a plane as a kid. And the plane might blow up. All right, now I'm going to Holland, you know? So this movie comes up. It's totally making fun of Zero Hour, but it's also making fun of those disaster movies. And those disaster movies just came to an abrupt end. And they were like 2.5 hours long, all of them.
Yeah. Well, they had, Towering Inferno, and then, Airplane. There's the Poseidon Adventure, Airport.
Yeah, Poseidon Adventure, yes. Yeah.
Just people getting wiped out. And then this one comes out, which is its ultimate silliness.
Yes. And then there's the sequel to the Poseidon Adventure, Poseidon Adventure 2, you know, like Beyond the Poseidon Adventure. We need to go under the sea so that we can rob the Poseidon's bank, because there's no other easier bank to rob in the world than one that's on the bottom of the ocean in a collapsing hull. Buddy. You
got to hear this. 1980 comedies, 9 to 5, Private Benjamin, Airplane, Caddyshack, History of the World Part 1, and Blues Brothers. That's a pretty stacked lineup.
It really is. But Airplane's the only one. Say that list again.
9 to 5. Private Benjamin.
Workplace comedy, basically.
Caddyshack, Slobs
versus Snobs.
Yep. History of the World Part 1.
Mel Brooks.
Yeah. And then Blues Brothers.
So Airplane and History of the World, those are basically the only two that are parodies.
Yeah, it's good to be the king.
Yeah.
Part 2 or Part 1, which I love, History of the World Part 1.
Blues Brothers never did it for me, man. I tried. I couldn't get into it, man. I did not find it hilarious that Belushi and Aykroyd were singing the blues. I don't know what was so funny about that. I'll try and watch it again as an adult.
The car crashes are cool.
Yes. Okay.
That's about it. That's kind of what I loved, because I just remember thinking to myself, a lot of cars are being wrecked, and there was a thrill to that. But I think of all these films that come out, and 81 was Stripes, and 82 was Porky's. There's still a lot of cult classics here, but this one's just. I think it's still quoted today. I mean, the gifts are still shared today. The surely you can't surely you can't be serious. I mean,
of course,
it's infiltrated society. I think this film, and it hasn't really gone anywhere.
No, not at all. And you know that people who grew up watching Airplane went to write The Simpsons and stuff like that. I would love to hear Conan O'Brien's take on how Airplane just warped his mind. Because Conan O'Brien hits me as a guy who would watch Airplane and just decide, okay, this is what I'm doing with the rest of my life. I'm going to do stuff like this, I was just going to say, and just the dialogue. How soon can you land? I can't tell. You can tell me. I'm a doctor. No. I mean, I'm just not sure. Well, can't you take a guess? Well, not for another 2 hours. You can't take a guess for another 2 hours? I mean...
The hospital? Yeah, a place where you go to blah, blah, blah.
That's not important right now.
Yeah, can you sum this up? Why? What about this movie has made it so endearing over the last, 41 years?
It is unapologetically silly.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. And the best part of it being dumb It's dumb for an hour and 27 minutes.
So short.
Okay. So it's in and out like a wet fart, man. It's gone before you know it, and it starts out ridiculous. The white zone is for loading and unloading of passengers only. No, the red zone is for the loading and unloading of passengers only. Well, it's always been the white zone for loading and unloading. And here you go again, Jan, with this loading and unloading shit.
You just want an abortion.
Yeah, like what? You just why don't you just say it? You want me to have an abortion?
Well,
what?
If it's safe and sensible, then yes, it's a practical thing to do.
Wait, dude, we're talking about unloading passengers, man.
And you know what I love too is when I was watching this with Megan, what she said that we kind of miss in films where. And I don't want to bag on any of these movies because they were highly successful. The Judd Apatow or the Will Ferrell films with all the improv.
Right.
What I like about the Zaz Brothers movies or successful parodies or like a Wes Anderson comedy or Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove. In this film, they had to create the newsstand with wacky materials and modern sperm. They had to build. They came up with the gags. The Jesus on the counter. They had to build
world building.
Yeah, world building. And then you had to have the fish gag. These were a lot of jokes that obviously scripts are written. That's kind of, I'm not saying scripts aren't written. They don't show up and go, all right, guys. But they wrote jokes. They built props for those jokes. And then they executed those jokes on set. And I love that because it doesn't, yes, there are happy accidents on set. You do find a character when they got Julie Hagerty, I bet you that they realized how much gold they had with her. And so they built that around her. And, but you have to build these gags. You have to, the guitar bit, they were going to bring in an artist, but they couldn't get, due to the rights, they couldn't have the nun play the music. So then the stewardess who played music drove to meet Zaz. Then she played them a cassette in their Volvo and they listened to it in their car so she could perform her music. But they're still happy accidents, but they still had that scene where they pull the plug out and she makes the face, and they have James Hong stabbing himself. You have the noose.
Yes.
Like, these are all jokes that they obviously they wrote, like the Jell-O. I mean, it's so stupid and childish that they wrote that, but it's, I don't know. I just love the days in Hot Shots Part 2 where just the silly gags that they had and the chicken bow and arrow and I just love that you put these thoughts in advance of the film and then you build props for them for a 3-second sight gag. That's just an art. I hate saying this, but I just miss that art. I miss the good parody gag that you had to write, build the props, execute for a second, break it down.
Well, this is just reckless speculation here. There could be just this idea. Well, I'm funny. I don't need your script.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make some shit up on the spot here. I'm just gonna riff with these guys and see what happens. But you get that series Archer, the cartoon.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Jessica Walter. By the way,
so cool. She was the best.
You get stuff like Archer, where Archer it doesn't seem like it's unscripted. What happens is there is guys just end up yelling at each other or just trying to one-up each other or insult each other with a lot of the ad-lib things, And there's a point where it's funny, like in Talladega Nights, where they're ad-libbing stuff and they're just ad-libbing these insults, and it gets funny and it gets a little personal, but it pulls back. And then there are other times where it just devolves into people yelling at each other, like the bad seasons of Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Yeah.
And so, yes, hey, these guys are geniuses. They ad-lib everything. Yeah, but was that funny? You know what I mean? It's funny to them, but did they care that anybody else might find it funny or not? And this is the dilemma with ad-lib and everything. Not everybody is awesome at it, and even the people who are awesome at it, sometimes can we just get to the point?
Yeah. No, it's kind of tough on the crew too, because I did a movie with a lot of improv, and I was in charge of all the cars that were circling around the block for it. And so if you had a pattern, if you had people, okay, they say their lines and then we stop and I can reset. But then they would just keep going on with ad-lib lines. And when you're driving around an Atlanta block with only 40 cabs and you have to make it look like a busy New York street with only 40 cabs, it's a lot easier to do when there's a script and you can stick to a pattern. But it got ugly, man. They're like, where are all the cars at? I'm like, well, you've been improvising for 10 minutes. So I think that's where my annoyance of improv came from. And also, I love Edgar Wright's films too, where like Hot Fuzz, you have a mustache, yeah, I know, or
yes,
just the jokes that they had to build and shoot and storyboard. That's what I like. I like the carefully crafted comedy. That's kind of what I'm into. Yeah.
Subtlety, man. Subtlety.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think, Mark? You're an adult walking through an airport in the 1980s, and suddenly a man from the Church of Consciousness comes up to you. Do you A, take his pamphlet, or just punch the holy shit out of him?
Beat them all up.
They're trying to get to a plane.
Didn't they have one guy like Christians for Jewish for Christian people or something?
Yes. It's Jews for Christians.
Yeah.
Scientology.
And he's just whomping on all of them. Oh, you know that car that Robert Stack drove? That was actually the car of I always forget his name. Robert Hays. That was Robert Hays' car.
Robert Hays.
And he got paid to have that car be featured in the movie.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He got
Here's a fun Robert Hays fact. He did the voice of the Iron Man cartoon in the 90s.
Oh, nice.
Totally. He was Tony Stark.
Oh, I bet you love that.
Oh, God. That was so awesome. Smoking or not smoking? Smoking. And they give him a ticket that's on fire.
Oh, yeah. What a pun.
It's distracting because when I was a kid watching the Iron Man cartoon, I had already seen Airplane 1,000 times and I didn't understand it as much. But his voice is very recognizable.
I had never watched. Sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry, man.
No, it's no
Airplane
problem.
2. Airplane 2.
Yes.
Is it good?
Okay. Airplane 2 is Control-C, Control-V of Airplane. And so you get, unfortunately, the law of diminishing returns. However, if you like Hot Shots 1 and 2, you'll like Airplane 2. And then also Airplane 2 just has William Shatner in it, man. And he asked the question, there are so many lights. What do these lights do? They're blinking and flashing and blinking and flashing. And then he just goes down the hole and the music. And they're like, okay, calm down.
All right, I'm going to have to watch this. I'm going to have to go check this movie out because I still haven't watched it.
Airplane 2 is fine, man. Airplane 2 is fine.
Oh, and Julie's in it? And Lloyd Bridges is in it?
Sonny Bono's a terrorist, for Christ's sake. I mean, come on.
Oh, Rip Torn. He'll be funny. He could be dry.
Yes. Rip Torn is working with Lloyd Bridges as the insane people on the ground trying to get them to land the plane correctly on the moon. Just bizarre.
All right. So I can watch this. This will be good.
Yes.
Hey, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will talk more Airplane. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And this reminded me of this time, Norbert, where you and I were in the Peace Corps, and we went to an island, and we taught the people there how to play basketball because they didn't have a physical exercise regime set up yet. And we sold them Tupperware.
Yes. They were not familiar with the rules, but once they picked it up, they took to it right away. Yes, it was very interesting.
Oh my God.
Here's another one for you.
So stupid.
Here's another one for you. You'd better tell the captain we've got to land as soon as we can. This woman has to be gotten to a hospital. A hospital? What is it? It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now.
Oh, man. And then everyone just lines up to beat that lady up.
They do that in every movie, and it's funny to me every time. I don't care. That is a brilliant joke setup and punchline every single time.
In Naked Gun 33 1/3, when he goes up to Anna Nicole Smith and he's like, cigarette? Yes, I know. Like, it gets me. And even Police Squad, it's just the joke never fails to not hit. And also Fred Ward is in that movie, which makes me happy.
Oh, God. Yo, Fred Ward. I always wish that Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins took off. Because I love Fred Ward. He seemed like a cool guy, and he's just down for anything, you know? Mm-hmm. Between Remo Williams and
Tremors.
That movie and Tremors. He seems like a cool cat.
He's been in good movies. Tremors works because of his chemistry with Kevin Bacon.
100%. You couldn't substitute those two guys. Either one of them.
Mm-mm. They're perfect together. I'm telling you, I think Tremors is dang near perfect because where Kevin Bacon's peeing in the beginning of that movie, that's where the tremor flies out, the graboid, later in the film. Like, they really come back and play a lot of the same bits, and they set up the Chekhov's Coke machine, the Chekhov's pogo stick. And the guns. And it's so good. And then they also put the guns in the thing to make the noise. And I love Tremors.
Here's another one for you, Mark. What was it that we had for dinner tonight? Well, we had a choice of steak or fish. Yes, I remember. I had lasagna.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I had lasagna.
I don't care if this podcast is just airplane quotes. If we could just read the whole script, I would be happy. There's nothing wrong with this movie. Nothing!
Just go on IMDb and just read the quotes in a line.
And if any of these quotes irritates you, you know what? Just don't ever talk to me.
And
right?
Remember when they're interviewing Johnny and someone's just holding an ice cream cone? That's a joke. That's something you could miss. You could just not see that. It's just
the reporters come into the room. All right, guys, let's take some pictures, and they start stealing.
Oh no! Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you think this movie was successful? Because I have a theory where I think the best TNT, TBS, FX, Comedy Central movies. If you think about what I remember playing on TV a lot were Monty Python, The Holy Grail, Airplane, and they're almost. There's little episodes in each that are funny. Their narratives are tied together, but there's bits throughout that you could turn on halfway through, and you're like, oh, this bit's coming up. Oh, wait, there's other bits coming up. Oh, wait, this bit's coming up, and then it's done. It's one of those films where Airplane, you could come in an hour in, have 20 minutes left, and just sit there, and because you know there's some good bits coming up that you can watch. Like Monty Python, it's just... you don't have to get enraptured in the narrative of Airplane because it's just so silly and there's so many little bits in it that you can tune in anytime and just enjoy it. Do you think that's a big reason why? Like, okay, if you think about modern day comedies, Knocked Up was huge, or I don't know, Talladega Nights, these kind of films. Like Knocked Up, Seth Rogen gets Katherine Heigl pregnant, they try to make it work, they break up, they get back together, or just there's. Anchorman, he loses his job, then he has to come back, and this, that, and the other. Step Brothers, they get mad at their parents, they got to grow up. Like that, it's hard for me to sit down and just watch those movies. It's easier for me to sit down and watch a movie that just like an Airplane or a Holy Grail or a Knight's Tale, where there's just no major stakes in it. There's no major life lessons.
They're not trying to teach you anything.
Yeah, totally. Evolution. Like I love that movie, Evolution. I think Orlando Jones and Duchovny are so good in that movie. But there's no. What's up?
I was just going to say, I fight people when they tell me that movie sucks.
Oh, dude.
It's basically, it's the Ghostbusters 3 that we always wanted, quite honestly.
It annoys me that you got Julianne Moore falling down all over the place. And
it was adorable.
Yeah. And Orlando Jones, he's just so funny in that. Like, he's just a really lecherous coach, though. He's like, I shower with my players, but...
Yes, I forgot about that.
Took you, rub some funk on it, and then I need some ice cream. It's for my ass. It's just I find the most rewatchable movies for me are no one goes through major catastrophes in this movie. They just sort of they're hangout pictures, and that's
no.
That's everybody wants some. I think is perfect. Like it's just a hangout picture.
Exactly. You don't want every movie to be a goddamn dissertation on the problems in modern life. Sometimes you just want to put something on and just laugh for an hour and 27 minutes. Here's a question for you. David Letterman was initially going to be Ted Stryker.
Oh, yeah.
You think David Letterman nails this in the same way as Robert Hays?
Okay, Robert Hays. Okay, Letterman, the way Letterman plays it, and correct me if I'm wrong, I just see him... Whenever he told his jokes, he always seemed somewhat satisfied with himself. Very flat, very dry, but he had this very self-aware knowledge to his humor. I think these movies work best when you have a Charlie Sheen from Hot Shots or Robert Hays or Julie Hagerty who can say it and be completely earnest in the delivery.
That's the word.
I don't know if Letterman could be earnest in his delivery.
It would just be snark the entire time.
Yeah, and that would be oppressive, right? That would wreck the joke because this hinges on earnestness, like the Hagerty, Hagerty earnestness. I mean, Charlie Sheen, I think, was excellent at doing it. I think as much as I love Cary Ells, I like him a lot in Robin Hood. I like him a lot in Hot Shots, but he does have that certain snark to him. He's very funny.
Yeah, Cary does absolutely, and it's crazy. It's crazy too, knowing about knowing about Charlie Sheen's actual personality in life, how he plays this just earnest, naive dude in the Hot Shots movies. And yeah, Robert Hays brings that naivete to it as well.
And I think that's what you need. And I think also this movie was, I mean, they wanted all the comedians in this film. And so they wanted, the studio wanted all these comedians in it. And Zaz would call them up, like, hey, we got this horrible movie. Does your person want to be in it for like 2 minutes? And then everyone said no. So they sabotage a lot of cameos by...
Oh, they pop up in part 2.
Yeah, got it. Well, that's what they sabotaged in the first one. They went out of their way to not get cameos. And also in this film, a lot of these cameos do take you out of the movie. There's not much in this film that takes you out of it, which I love.
Even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which is insane, because he should, but he really nails it as a pilot.
Yeah, nothing feels shoehorned in, right? It just... It all seems to work. And I love watching Leslie Nielsen just pick up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out of that chair. I'm like, that's impressive.
Yes! he's got a lot of core strength. That's one thing we didn't know about Leslie Nielsen. His core was tight.
And then when he had to get pulled, when Randy had to pull him through the aisles, they didn't even think about it. They're like, yeah, just pull him. And she's like, he's dead weight and he's 7 foot. So they had to figure out a way to get him pulled to the back. But the directors didn't even think about that, Norbert. That's how much I love this movie. They were only about gags. And then when someone came with them about something logistical, they just went, what did they do in 0 Hour? Like it seems like a pure film. There's not much taking you out of it. I think sometimes movies can be too cameo laden. And they take you out. And you know, people talk about Knight's Tale. That's actually, I did that episode with James Mula. And people talk about how they hate the music because like, there was no Bowie during these times. It's like, no crap. But
for God's sake.
They deliver it so earnestly though, right? Like you have them dancing to Bowie and it just feels like it belongs and it feels earnest. So that doesn't take me out of it because I just love how weird it is. And I don't know, nothing about this movie takes me out. There's just, I think a lot of cameos would have done that. I think Snark would have done that. There's no room for Snark in these movies. And I think that's why, like, look at Wilder, man, and Young Frankenstein. Or look at Blazing Saddles. Right. Just the way that everyone did their role. There's very little, yes, there are moments when they literally wink at the camera.
Right.
But there's still this very earnest, like Bill Pullman in Spaceballs. Or Daphne Zuniga, too. I think she's really good at her role in that. So I think you just 100%. There's a balance you got to find, and this is my long way of saying Snark's not welcome.
No, I got you, man. All right, here's some more crazy casting questions. All right, instead of Leslie Nielsen, Christopher Lee. I think Christopher Lee's got the chops, man, because he was in Gremlins 2 and he nailed that.
Yeah, he was really good, and he could deliver that dialogue. Oh gosh,
with an accent, right?
Yeah, yes I am. The cadence. It's the cadence, isn't it? Because they said that Leslie Nielsen had a very hard time with the cadence at first, but then he went away for a weekend, and he came back with the cadence. And you just got to have this yes, I am, and don't call me Shirley. There's a very specific cadence to it. And Nielsen at this time wasn't mugging yet. I love Dracula Dead and Loving It, but he's mugging.
It's too much for me.
Yeah,
that one's too much for me.
He's like, I do love that. A raspberry? Did you see the spider? No, it's a raspberry. A raspberry?
He's too much.
The blood scene. After watching the original Dracula again, then going back to watch Dracula Dead and Loving It makes more sense.
Yeah.
But when it was released, when it was released, you're kind of thinking to yourself, I just watched From Dusk Till Dawn. Why am I watching this? But yeah, I think Lee could do it. It's just about getting the cadence down. That's the most important.
Let me see if I can get my Christopher Lee on. You'd better tell the captain we've got to land as soon as we can. This woman has to be gotten to a hospital. A hospital? What is it? It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now. Christopher Lee?
Yeah, he could do it. I could see that. Because he wouldn't mug. He would mug. And I could see Lee doing it with really conviction. And he... You know what's really interesting? When they were filming this, Lloyd Bridges was annoying Robert Stack because Lloyd Bridges was like, why am I saying this? Why am I doing that? What's the joke? And then Robert Stack looked at him and said, we are the joke.
There you go. Bingo.
And then Lloyd just went, oh, okay, I get it. I'm on it now. And I think Lee would understand that, where you are the joke itself. So what is the joke? No, the way you're delivering it is the joke. What you're saying is the joke.
Exactly.
But yeah,
and
this.
then
Oh, sorry.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, go. I want to hear it. I like these questions. These are fun.
I was gonna say, finally, Elaine, Sigourney Weaver, or Shelley Long.
Wait, so Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Wait.
Elaine. Elaine's part is Julie Hagerty.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying Elaine from Seinfeld. Because I was like, all right, so Elaine.
What is the deal? What is the deal with airline food?
What's with the lampshades? Did you eat the fish?
I thought, I wanted the lasagna, but all they had was chicken and fish.
I got a drinking problem. No. I can't fly the plane. Oh, man. I would like to see Seinfeld dancing in that scene. But, okay, so Sigourney Weaver or Shelley Long? Or Shelley Winters? No, Shelley Long. Shelley Winters was Shining, right?
Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall. Oh, and that poor lady, she got wrecked in The Shining the same year.
Yeah, she did.
Okay, so...
Yeah, so Sigourney Weaver auditioned for Elaine's part, and also Shelley Long auditioned for Elaine's part. What do you think?
I mean, Shelley Long's hilarious. Sigourney Weaver's funny, too.
Dude, as we know from our now legendary Galaxy Quest podcast, Sigourney does comedy.
F that. Oh, man.
Sigourney comedy.
So we have to make a pick, right? We're saying Long or Weaver, not replacing Hagerty. Because they add so much different. Long might be similar to Hagerty, Julie, but Weaver would add a more dry. I mean, she played really well off of Bill Murray in Ghostbusters.
Absolutely. And those two, I don't care what anybody says. Bill Murray hooking up with a chick like Sigourney Weaver, that is beyond out of his league. A dude like Bill Murray hooking up with a woman like Sigourney Weaver. You know what I mean? That is the incredible, you have pitched way out of your strike zone, brother.
I'm going to say Shelley Long, because Brady Bunch movie, Money Pit.
Oh, she was great in the Brady Bunch movie.
And she played that so straight, right? And she sold it. She sold it wonderfully. And that's a tough job.
The kids. Yeah, so she was perfect. She was.
Okay, so I'm saying Shelley Long, because I just see more of the more of a less dry. I don't want dry, because then that's too much dry.
I'd take Sigourney Weaver. Honestly, I would love this. I think it would be an upgrade. As you know, my obsession with the Alien series means that I believe that Sigourney Weaver not only walks on water, but just generates it. She's the queen of all things. I think Sigourney Weaver in this movie with Robert Hays, because Julie Hagerty's character Elaine in this movie is always, I don't respect you. She basically says, I can't love a man that I don't respect.
Yeah.
Coming from Julie Hagerty, that really hurts, because it seems like Julie Hagerty's so sweet. Coming from Sigourney Weaver, she gives that extra, I am a strong woman type thing.
Oh, yeah.
That extra I am, you can't keep up with me. I'm way out of your league. And that would have added a whole other dimension to this movie, because Julie Hagerty, Ted Stryker, yeah, they're cute, but okay, you could see them together. Ted Stryker begging for Sigourney Weaver to get back with him, that hits different, because clearly Ted Stryker, she's out of your league.
That might make it less enjoyable for me, because that creates that difference between the two. And then maybe there's a little bit of, clearly you're right, but then that adds this extra element to it. And maybe I just like the sweetness of Hagerty, because you really, she's so nice. That you don't, she's incredibly nice. You don't like this guy? What did he do to you? Exactly. And just, I'm telling you, her reactions to Otto and just the various, when she's taking the menu with the two guys and she does not know what they're saying, her look. Yes. I can't see. Listen, Sigourney's amazing, and she should have won an Academy Award for Aliens. And I love her. Won it, God damn it. And Heartbreakers, I think she's hilarious in. I love Heartbreakers, underrated movie. And I just, if I had to cast one, I'd take Long. But that's like saying I'd rather have an 11th ounce filet mignon or an 11-ounce filet mignon, right? It's like they're both great. It's fact. You're not losing or winning with either. I can't see this movie, and that's not the question you have, but I'm just having a really hard time getting rid of Hagerty in this movie.
I get it, because, look, Christopher Lee brings a whole other thing to the game than Leslie Nielsen, absolutely. But Sigourney Weaver, Oh, yeah. David Letterman? Nah, screw him. He's a jerk.
You got to have that earnestness in here. Just, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's a whole different dynamic, and you've shaken my world a little bit, and I don't like it.
There you go. You know, truth bombs.
What'd you do to me?
That's what I bring. I bring you the truth. I bring you, yeah, Julie Hagerty was dope, but Sigourney Weaver, bang! Deal with it. Mic drop.
All right.
Seacrest out.
I want to do a little matchup between you and I. And this is what I want to do. I want to do 1980s comedies, ringer squads.
Here we go.
5 each. So what we'll do is we will just pick 5 1980s comedies. You pick one, I pick one. They can't be the same. And we'll put up on Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook, and people can vote on it. But you and I can't hold back. We just gotta go for the throat with each pick. How does that sound?
Okay. Excellent. I'm going for it.
All right, I'll give you first pick.
First pick. You ready?
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Ooh.
Axel. Ajuel Foley.
I'm going to take Spinal Tap.
I love that movie.
Drummers blowing up. Who's your second pick?
You're not ready for this, Fletch.
Ooh.
You're not ready for Fletch. I love Fletch.
He plays for the Lakers. He's great. I gotta do it. This is one of my favorite movies ever made, so I'm taking Raising Arizona.
Ah, you son of a motherless goat. Look what you just did to me.
And you can take the movie we're talking about right now.
I'm taking it then. Airplane.
Oh, man. That's a sealer dealer. You know what? I'll take Trading Places.
Oh, I was going to go there. I was going to make a little Eddie Murphy team.
If you're doing 80s comedies and you don't have Eddie Murphy,
It's got to be at least one, right?
You're being provocative. You got to get out of here.
It's got to be at least one. Okay. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Oh, man. That's a good one.
That movie's excellent.
We just did an episode about used cars, dude. That was fun. Oh, gosh. Oh, wow. This is tough, dude.
Yes, sir. The 80s was brilliant for comedy.
Just Kilmer alone. Top Secret, Real Genius. There's Fast. Oh, man. Oh, okay. This is physically paining me to leave some of these movies out. It really is. So you have Beverly Hills Cop, Fletch, Airplane, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. I have This Is Spinal Tap, Racing Arizona, Trading Places, and then I will take. Can I just pick a movie I love? I'm gonna take Big Trouble in Little China. Big Trouble in Little China.
Of course. Jack Burton. Of course you take Jack Burton.
I gotta go with what I love.
Of course you do.
All right. And then who's your fifth pick?
All right. Number 5. Let's see. Number 5 is going to be Just Because I Am Ridiculous. Ridiculous Norbert. You know what? I'm just going to pay homage to the dead. I'm going back to school just because I'm a weirdo.
Ooh, I love back to school?
I love that movie. I love it when he does the Triple Lindy.
Oh, gosh. Triple Lindy's amazing.
You know what? Back to School or Ghostbusters? What do you think?
What's up to you, my friend?
I'm going Ghostbusters because the Terror Dog scared me as a child.
And we said not to hold back. So right now I have lost. You have sealed my deal. I am done. But so I gotta dig deep here, man. I gotta get one movie that is just gonna almost maybe match up with Airplane and Ghostbusters, because Ghostbusters is almost a win in itself. Oh man, we left out Vacation.
Caddyshack. Vacation. I was just about
Coming
to say.
to America.
Mm-hmm.
Spaceballs. Princess Bride.
I already took one Eddie Murphy, so I didn't want to take two.
Major League.
Coming to America. Actually, I didn't want to take Coming to America because I like Beverly Hills Cop more than Coming to America.
Three Amigos.
You
got me a sweater.
Three Amigos, as you get older, it doesn't hit as funny as it did when you were a kid, I think. Have you watched it recently? It's okay.
I just quote it. I don't really watch it. Is Fast Times at Ridgemont High a comedy?
It's kind of dark.
Yeah, I know, right? It's not exactly. I mean, it's
supposed to be a comedy, but it's kind of dark.
It's technically a comedy.
Yeah, technically.
But, I mean, how many people watch it for the laughs?
Everybody's watching it just to be all right, or Spicoli.
Sure thing. You know what? I'm going to lose, but I'm gonna do a double Holly Hunter, and I'm going to take a broadcast news.
Nice.
I've lost, but I'm going broadcast news, because I love that movie, and I think she's hilarious in it, and I think everyone's on the top of their game.
Go for it, man.
That's a beloved film right there. So you have Beverly Hills Cop, Fletch, Airplane, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, and Ghostbusters. I have This Is Final Tap, Racing Arizona, Trading Places, Big Trouble in Little China, and Broadcast News.
There it is.
Oh, wow. And you can go to Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook. Well, I might have run it by already, but you can go to Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook and check out all the fun polls and tournaments we do. You'll love it there. It's a kind place. I make sure everyone stays nice. People don't see a list and go, "I love 9 of these movies, but the 10th one sucks." They
It is the least rage-filled place on the Facebook. Absolutely.
I try, and I send out messages. I'm like, hey man, listen, you love 9 of them, but you hate one of them. Like, you don't got to comment on the one you hate.
Dude, you moderate that. And
it's my page. It's not like free speech. It's just, let's not be the internet.
That's right. Basically. Oh, I just saw on the list the incredibly underrated Dragnet. Tom Hanks.
Yeah. All right, well, let's add one more. Pick one more movie. What do you want?
Fine. I picked Dragnet. Right. I love that movie.
I'm taking Better Off Dead.
Dragnet rap. Better Off Dead.
$2.
The Dragnet rap at the end of the movie. It's actually Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd rapping. Oh my God. YouTube that, please.
Dan Aykroyd just loves performing.
Dan Aykroyd rapping. He does.
Well, I got to say, man, thank you for joining me on this. And thank you for suggesting this. You suggested Ronin. You suggested Airplane, and there was one before this that you suggested that I absolutely loved covering, but I forgot. But I love covering these because I dove into Ronin, and I learned so much about it. And then I dove into Airplane, and I just learned about the making of it and all these really neat stories and the commentaries and just getting in the headspace of it. And I have thoroughly enjoyed exploring these movies, so I want to thank you for suggesting them.
No problem, brother. It's our little side story of they don't make movies like this anymore.
Yeah. And now I have to... Raising Arizona, the other one you suggested.
Yes, sir. I'm okay. You're okay. And that's just the way it is.
And now I got to go scroll back through that conversation we had months ago to figure out the 4th one in our list.
We'll get on it, baby.
Yeah, we got to find it. I'll do a deep scroll through our chats.
Ain't no thing, brother.
Well, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun.
No problem, man. I love you.
Ditto. Love you too, man. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Norbert Morvan, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.